Hi everyone! So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the third universal law coming from the Kybalion, which is like a spiritual philosophical text. And if you want to check out the other two laws prior to this third law, you can go ahead and check out my videos on those. The link will be in the description. The first law is the law of mentalism, and the second law is the law of correspondence. So at times we will be touching on those laws throughout this video. So if you want a greater understanding, please go ahead and check those videos out below. Okay, so before we just jump right into this third law, let's just do a brief refresher on what the Kybalion is talking about. So the Kybalion is postulating that there is this creator per se. Now, the creator term is not really even broad enough to give a sufficient definition for this thing that it's talking about because it's so far beyond us. It's called the all. And one of the main theories within this Kybalion is that the all is thinking us up mentally in some kind of way. That's the first principle, the principle of mentalism. And then the second principle, the principle of correspondence, is as above, so below. So throughout this creation, this mental creation of the all, there are different planes of existence. So there's higher planes and lower planes. The lower planes are grosser forms of matter. Higher planes, we start moving spiritward towards the all. And the laws that apply in higher planes also apply in the lower planes and vice versa. So all of these universal laws that the Kybalion talks about are in operation on all of the planes. Okay, so the main definition for the law of vibration within the Kybalion is nothing rests, everything moves, and everything vibrates. And this law of vibration is kind of tied into this vibrational scale that the Kybalion talks about. So the differences within existence, the differences in things within existence, is due to different locations on this vibrational scale. And we have in the book the example of the archangel, if an archangel is real, compared to the existence of man. So if we take mankind and supposed archangels, the only difference between them is their locations on this vibration scale, which we're going to see in a second. So here's like a little depiction of this scale of vibration. So as you can see, the lower planes of existence, they contain the grossest form of matter. So this is matter kind of moving at like the lowest vibration possible, versus higher planes of existence, what they contain is it's closer to the all. It's like more those spiritual, mental planes moving, or things within existence that are moving at higher vibrations, and it's closer to the all. And so the higher planes of existence are closer to the all because the all is at the highest vibration. And in the book, they say, okay, it's almost seeming to be at rest. Now, between these two poles, there's millions of different manifestations of vibrations or areas of existence. Okay, so now that we've kind of just done like a little general overview of this vibration scale, which is part of this law of vibration, we're going to start talking about some topics that are going to start sounding very science-like in the next few minutes. But remember, like, this is a philosophy. This is not legitimate science. So please take this next part as philosophy as like we move forward. So now what the Kybalion, the authors of the Kybalion, are trying to do in this next part is pretty much show you how everything has some sort of vibration. All matter has some sort of vibration. So this is how they're going to go about that. The Kybalion defines matter and energy as modes of vibratory motion. They also look at the mind as like a mode of vibration or motion, or mental planes and spiritual planes also have their own varying modes of vibration. Let's look at some of the claims that the Kybalion makes about matter, about how vibration manifests within matter. So for number one here, they're claiming all matter manifests in some degree the vibrations arising from temperature or heat. So whether an object is hot or cold, and these are degrees of the same thing, aka temperature, it's creating heat vibration. Therefore, all matter is having a motion / vibration, even if you don't see it moving. So they're saying, okay, because any object that you measure has some sort of temperature correlated to it, the temperature is creating, either it's a heat vibration, and heat and cold, it's the same thing. It's just a spectrum of temperature. So these vibrations, these motions from the temperature, those are vibrations. That's what the Kybalion is saying. The second thing is all particles of matter are in a circular movement. So let's kind of have a visual depiction of what that means. So the planets revolve around suns, and many of them turn on their axes. Then the suns move around greater central points, and these are believed to move around still greater, and so on to infinity. So we can see here with some of these pictures here, our solar system, right? All of our planets are orbiting around the sun. The sun is orbiting around the center of the Milky Way galaxy, right? Pattern of like circular movement. This pattern of all particles of matter being in circular movement. And again, like we were saying earlier, I'm not claiming anything scientific here. This is not like an exact science. This is a philosophy system. This is what the Kybalion is just like alluding to. They're trying to like show you how you could form a belief that all matter is manifesting some type of vibration. And because that is the principle of vibration. Okay, so now let's move forward to some of the other claims that the Kybalion is making in terms of like vibratory motion, all matter having vibration, etc. So light, heat, and magnetism and electricity are but forms of vibratory motion connected in some way with and probably emanating from the ether. So they also talk, cohesion, chemical affinity, gravitation. These are all manifestations of some form of vibratory energy. So this is where I say things get science-like. They're saying these genuine principles, like in chemistry and in physics, are manifestations of vibratory energy. And they mentioned the ether a little bit, so going into that just a little bit, the universal ether / ethereal substance is supposedly just matter at this very high degree of vibration. So it serves as a medium of transmission of waves of vibratory energy like heat, light, electricity, magnetism, etc. But it does have its own vibration. Now let's get into a little bit of what an increasing vibration looks like and how does it kind of work? How do they outline it? So we're gonna imagine here, or you're not gonna have to imagine because I'm gonna play you a video of a spinning top. So if a spinning top is moving very slowly, you'd probably see it moving, but you're not gonna necessarily hear it. As the speed of it increases, you maybe start hearing a little bit of a lower pitch of sound. And then as the rate of motion increases, we start hearing higher and higher pitch noises. And at some point, the movement becomes such a high rate, we can no longer register the sound, but there's still a sound happening. Or, well, in addition to that, it's spinning so fast that we can no longer register that movement visually as well. So the point of this is, in our sound spectrum, in our visual spectrum, we as humans can only perceive of certain wavelengths of light, right? So we have our visible color spectrum, yet there are things outside of this that are happening, but we just can't visually see it. Just like there's sounds that are happening around us, but they are too high pitched. And so the Kybalion is saying, well, this is vibration. They're at a high vibration we're not perceiving of. So as the vibrations are increasing, the molecules start to disintegrate, atoms start to disintegrate into corpuscles, and then these corpuscles disappear and become ethereal substance, according to the book. So then this substance is going to just start going through those mental planes and the spiritual planes eventually until it's back within the all. So, and also as this object kind of goes up and up in vibration, it releases stored energy from within the physical manifestation of it, i.e. light and heat. So these are things that are released as the physical is transcended. Here's the weirdest part. This is one of the most interesting parts of what the law of vibration is stating. All manifestation of thought, emotion, reason, will, or desire, or any mental state or condition are accompanied by vibrations, a portion of which are thrown off and which tend to affect the minds of other persons by induction. Earlier I talked, okay, they're looking at the mind as also having like a vibratory quality to it. So because this is happening in the mental plane, every thought you're thinking, the emotions you're feeling, your mental states, these are all having their own vibrational states. And because of this, portions of these are thrown off to your surrounding environment and can affect other people's minds, supposedly, according to this book. Another direct quote from this is, every thought, emotion, or mental state has its own corresponding rate and mode of vibration, and by an effort of the will of the person or of other persons, these mental states may be reproduced, just as a musical tone may be reproduced by causing an instrument to vibrate at a certain rate, just as color can be reproduced in the same way. So now we're kind of going back a little bit to the first principle, the principle of mentalism. That's why it's really important to have a strong understanding of all of these laws, because they all kind of branch into each other and they're not standalone laws. They're all kind of living within one another. So by a knowledge of the principle of vibration as applied to mental phenomena, one may polarize his mind at any degree he wishes, thus gaining a perfect control over his mental states, moods, etc. In the same way he may affect the minds of others, producing the desired mental states in them. In short, he may be able to produce on the mental plane that which science produces on the physical plane, namely vibrations at will. Okay, so what does all of this mean? Be aware of what's going on within yourself. That's how I kind of take it. So they talk about thoughts, emotions, mind states. As a human, you're going to go through a myriad of different emotions and thoughts within a day. Okay? Let's start with thoughts. Thoughts could be a negative thought, positive thought, a neutral thought. All of these different thoughts carry, according to the book, a certain vibration to them, a certain vibratory quality or nature to them. Okay? Same with your emotions. So the emotion of sadness is going to carry a very different quality to it than the emotion of joy, right? I mean, we know this because we experience it. The mental state is what's important to me when I read this. So mental state to me means the quality you're operating under on a consistent day-to-day basis. So is your mental state tending towards negative? Or is your mental state on a day-to-day basis usually more positive? You think thoughts that are in favor of you. This book, to me, and this law is kind of like just telling you to work on your state. Okay? So, and how do you work on your mental state? How do you change the way you're feeling on a day-to-day basis? What does that look like? So changing your dominant state, your dominant mental state, can have two components. One, there's things you can do as an individual to change your state. And two, there's things that the surrounding environment does to you which can affect your state. So things you can do as an individual to try to change your day-to-day state could be things like affirmations. It could be something like meditating. It could just be simply trying to change a singular thought you have in a day that is negative and swinging it into your favor. You can take gradual steps to get there. But then also the people that you surround yourself with, the environment you surround yourself with, that can also have an impact on your state. Your life will change when you completely change your own fundamental mental state that you operate in a day-to-day basis. It just will. And as you play around with this concept and know yourself better, what they're saying in this book is start reproducing those states, right? When you know what those are and what causes them within you, what brings you to that feeling, you can actually do that. You know, the other more weirder part of this would be, okay, well, as you change your thoughts and your mental states, you're changing that mental plane's vibrational quality. You're changing the vibrations within your mind, within your thoughts, which the Kybalion kind of looks at like thoughts are something actually happening on like a mental plane. There's different planes of existence. That's in the second law, the law of correspondence. So within that, okay, you start thinking different, you start embodying a different mental state, your vibration mentally starts shifting. The people around you are impacted by that, and they're going to pick up on that. So the Kybalion, though, is taking it a step further. Hey, change your thoughts. It's even higher than just like this physical. It's you're carrying a vibration with you, with what you're thinking, with what your state is. When you start changing that state, it's going to change the other people around you as well. That is what the book is claiming. And that is how you can utilize this principle of vibration, this law of vibration, to change your own life. And in a way, the lives of others, supposedly. So thank you guys so much for watching this video and making it to the end. Again, if you are interested in learning about the other universal laws in the Kybalion, I will leave the link below for my first two videos on the principle of mentalism and the principle of correspondence. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, everything's a philosophy. So in order to determine if something is going to bring value to your life, you should try to incorporate some of the principles and see if they work for you. What happens when you start to kind of change your thoughts on a day-to-day basis towards something more positive for yourself and for others? What starts happening? So I would encourage you to try that and see how it works in your life. Thank you so much again for watching, and if you like my content, please make sure to subscribe to my channel to see more content like this. Have a good one, guys. Bye.